Hello, children. Welcome to Vanna's Academy. And today I'm going to explain you class 11th CBSE book Hornbill's first chapter, The Portrait of a Lady, which is written by Khushwant Singh. So, children, if you have not subscribed my channel, so please subscribe to it and also like, share, and comment. So, children, before the explanation of this chapter, I would like to give you the brief introduction of the narrator, writer, Khushwant Singh. So, Khushwant Singh is undoubtedly one of the great writers of English. He was born in a Sikh family in 1915 in Hadali. Hadali is now the part of Pakistan. His often referred as a versatile man. Why he is referred as a versatile man? Because he was a humorist, he was a commentator, editor, short story writer, and a novelist too. And he had a very easy narrative style. He had his education from Government College Lahore, and he went to England to study law, and after coming from there he did practice at Lahore High Court for some time, and afterwards he joined Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. He also worked for All India Radio for some time. He worked as a chief editor for the Hindustan Times. His first novel, Train to Pakistan, is now recognized as classic. So it is based on India-Pakistan partition. It is a love story of Muslim Pakistani girl and an Indian Sikh boy. So children, if you had watched movie Gadar Ek Prem Katha, it is based on Khushwant Singh's novel Train to Pakistan. So he had written so many books. He had written, but among his famous books are The Company of Women, The End of India, 2 volumes of the history of Sikhs. So he was awarded with various prizes, various awards like Punjab Ratan Award, Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan. And Khushwant Singh passed away on 20th March 2014 in Delhi. So, children, before the explanation of this chapter, let me give you the chapter sketch. What this story is all about. Fine. So, the portrait of a lady is a part of an autobiography written by Khushwant Singh. So, in this story, the author gives the pan portrait of his grandmother. So, the author Khushwant Singh very beautifully described his relationship with his grandmother. So it is a very heartwarming, heart-touching story of their relationship and how their relationship undergoes several changes. So, in other words, the story is a loving tribute from a grandson to his grandmother. So, it is a realistic account of how the grandparents give their time, attention, and love to their grandchildren. So, children, let's start this story. As I said, it is a tribute from Khushwant Singh's side to his grandmother. So he start it by saying that, in the beginning he has given the physical description of his grandmother. So he starts it by saying that his grandmother, like everybody's grandmother, was an old woman. Fine, and she had been in this physical state. She was old, and her whole face and the body was covered with wrinkle, and she had been in this state for the last 20 years. Fine. People used to say that she once had been very young, pretty, beautiful, good looking lady, and she had a husband too. But it was very hard to believe for Khushwant Singh, because Khushwant Singh had been watching his grandmother in the same state, physical condition for the last 20 years. So then he talks about his grandfather. So his grandfather's portrait was hung on the wall of the drawing room, which was above the stone shelf, and in that portrait, he was looking, he was wearing a big turban, and he was in loose fitting clothes, and his long white beard, could be seen, fine, and that beard was coming up to his chest, and he was looking a very old man, just like 100 years old man, fine. uh, and by his appearance, it did not look that this person would have wife or children, fine. By his appearance, he was looking too old, and this kind of people could have only lots and lots of grandchildren. So as for my grandmother, he says, uh, that she was young and pretty, and this thought was almost revolting, but he was not able to connect it, that once his grandmother was young, pretty, beautiful, fine, because he had not seen his grandmother like this. So his grandmother, when he was child, so she used to tell them the stories, fine, about her childhood, and in her childhood what sorts of games she used to play, fine, to him and to his cousins, fine. So that seemed quite absorbed. So this thought that once she was a young lady, and sorry, she was a young child, and she used to play games, it used to look, to Khushwant Singh and his cousins, illogical and undignified. So so whatever stories grandmother used to share with them, they used to consider them as fables. What are fables? Fables means stories giving morals, and which seem quite unrealistic. So he and his cousins also used to feel that whatever the grandmother is telling, there is no truth in that, and it was very hard for them to believe in those stories. So the author Khushwant Singh continues with the physical description of his grandmother. So he says that his grandmother was an old, short, fat lady with the wrinkled face, and one could see the crisscross lines of wrinkles, on her face, moving from one side to another. And she was too old lady. Fine, she was too old, and it seemed that age was stopped for her, and she was so old that she could not have grown more older, fine. And because Khushwant Singh had been watching, his grandmother in the same state for the last 20 years. Fine. She could never have been pretty, but she was always beautiful. So here Khushwant Singh said that she had not seen his grandmother's youth. So he was not sure that once, his grandmother was a very beautiful, charming lady, but for one thing, he was sure that her grandmother had a golden heart. She was very kind, benevolent lady, and her heart used to beat for others. Then Khushwant Singh says that she hobbled about the houses, so she used to move in the house with the difficulty, in the old age, when bones become stiff, and so because of that one feel difficulty in walking, fine. So she used to hobble in the house, and she used to wear white saris, and while walking, what she used to do, she used to keep one hand on her waist to balance her body, and in other hands she used to keep the rosary beads, fine. And her white hair, unkempt hair, used to scattered on her pale and shrunk Plucked means shrunk face, and her lips constantly used to move in an inaudible pair. Fine. So yes, she was beautiful. Fine. And she was like winter landscape in the mountains, just like in the winter season, you know, the mountains are covered with the snow, they look beautiful. So the Khushwant Singh says in her white dress she appeared to be a picture of serenity. So, children, now Khushwant Singh remembers his childhood days when his parents left him with his grandmother and they moved to the city. So, during this time, you know, both the author and his grandmother, became close friends because they were spending maximum time with each other, so they became close friends. So, this phase of their life can be called the phase of friendship. And then he says that in the village his grandmother, she used to take care of all his needs. She was, in spite of her old age, she was quite active and agile, and she used to wake him up in the morning and used to get him ready for the school. And and then what she used to do, she in the morning she used to start her morning prayers. She used to sing her morning prayer. And while she used to bathe him, dressed him, in the hope that her grandson would learn them by heart. Then author says he used to listen her morning prayers not because he wanted to learn them, but he used to listen her grandmother's prayers because he used to love her voice. Fine, she had very sweet voice, so that's why he used to listen his grandmother's prayers. And then what she else to used to do, then she would bring his wooden slate means takti, and then which she had already cleaned, washed and plastered it with the yellow chalk means multani mitti. Then she used to bring an earthening pot, and then a reed pens means kalam, no, बांस से बनी हुई कलम. And then what she used to do, she used to tie them together in a bundle, and then she used to hand it over to the author. So what after that, they used to do the breakfast. Fine, what they used to do in the breakfast, she used to give him a thick stale chapati, and then she used to apply butter over it, and then she used to sprinkle the sugar over it. Fine. And after having the breakfast, they both used to go to the school. And the author says that while she used to go to the school, they both used to go to the school. She used to carry the leftover chapatis. Fine. To Why she used to take those leftover chapatis, so that she could feed the village dogs. And then author says they both used to go together, and my grandmother always accompanied him to the school, as that school was attached to the temple. The author remembers his childhood days here. He says that it was the happiest time of his life, and now he shares what was their routine when they used to live in the village. Uh, so he says that they both, he and his grandmother together used to go to the school. And while they used to go to the school together, because that school was attached to the temple, the author used to go to his school to study, and his grandmother used to go to the temple where she used to read the holy scriptures, holy books. So after reaching the school, the priest used to teach them the alphabets and the morning prayers, and the children children used to sit in two rows, and they used to recite the alphabets and the prayers in a loud voice together in chorus. And his grandmother used to sit inside the temple and used to read holy books. And when they both had finished, they used to come back. They used to walk back together to their home, and this time the village dogs would meet them at the temple door. They used to follow them to their home, and in between they used to growl, they used to fight with each other. Why they used to growl and fight with each other? Because to get the, you know, to share of the chapatis which his grandmother used to bring for them to feed. So till now his parents got settled in the city, and now they came to the village to take both of them to the city. And they had to move to the city, and this was the turning point in their life, or you can say the turning point in their friendship. In the city also, they were sharing the same room, but his grandmother was not happy there, because when the author used to go to the school, she could not go along with him as she used to go in the village. Why she did not go along with the author? Because the author used to go to the school by bus. And other thing she was not happy with there, because there were no dogs on the street to whom she could feed. So she started feeding sparrows in the courtyard of their city house. So Khushwant Singh says, as the years rolled by, so they started seeing less to each other, and but grandmother continued with her work. She used to get him, up in the morning and used to make him ready for the school. And when he used to come back from the school, so she used to ask a lot of questions to him, and the author used to reply that whatever new English word he had learnt and about the Western science and learning, like the law of gravity, Archimedes principle, and the world being round. So by knowing this, she used to become very sad. Why she used to become very sad? Because she did not know about English language and the Western science, and because she could not teach, she could not help her grandson in modern education. So this thought used to make her unhappy, and she did not believe in the things they taught at the English school, and and she got very much disturbed to know that her grandson was not being taught about the God and the scriptures, as his grandmother was a very religious kind of lady. And when she came to know about this, so she got very much disturbed. So when you know the author told her that they were being given music lesson, so this made her angry. She got disturbed. Why she got disturbed? Because she used to think that music is related to prostitutes and the beggar. It was not suitable for respectable people. Fine, it was not suitable for general folk. So after this, she did not reply anything, but she maintained silence, and she started talking less to her grandson. So Khushwant Singh says, as the years rolled by, so they started seeing less to each other, and but grandmother continued with her work. She used to get him, up in the morning and used to make him ready for the school. And when he used to come back from the school, so she used to ask a lot of questions to him, and the author used to reply that whatever new English word he had learnt and about the Western science and learning, like the law of gravity, relativity, Archimedes principle, and the world being round. So by knowing this, she used to become very sad. Why she used to become very sad? Because she did not know about English language and the Western science, and because she could not teach, she could not help her grandson in modern education. So this thought used to make her unhappy, and she did not believe in the things they taught at the English school, and and she got very much disturbed to know that her grandson was not being taught about the God and the scriptures, as his grandmother was a very religious kind of lady. And when she came to know about this, so she got very much disturbed. So when you know the author told her that they were being given music lesson, so this made her angry. She got disturbed. Why she got disturbed? Because she used to think that music is related to prostitutes and the beggar. It was not suitable for respectable people. Fine, it was not suitable for general folk. So after this, she did not reply anything, but she maintained silence, and she started talking less to her grandson. Now Khushwant Singh says that after passing his school education, so he took admission in college. So he used to study late in the night, so he was given a separate room to study. Fine. So till now he and his grandmother was sharing the same room, and now because he was given a separate room, so the common link which used to connect them tightly was broken. But his grandmother was a very brave lady, so she accepted this seclusion, and she got herself engaged in other different activities to keep herself busy, so that she could not feel loneliness. So what sort of activities she has got indulged herself? So she started spinning the wheel, and from morning to evening she used to sit by her spinning wheel and used to recite prayers. So during this time, the interaction between him and his grandmother became minimal. So now Khushwant Singh says that in the afternoon, she used to take the break through, from morning. She used to sit on her spinning wheel and she used to spin, and during the afternoon she used to take the break, and use during that time she used to relax a bit, and during this time what she used to do, she used to feed the sparrows. She used to break the bread into small pieces and used to feed the sparrows. So at that time, hundreds of little birds used to collect around her and used to chirp a lot. Fine. Some of them used to sit on her legs, some on her shoulder, and some on her head. And by doing them so, seeing, she used to smile, and we can say that this half hour, used to be her happiest time of the day. Now the author says that after passing his college education, he decided to go to abroad for further studies. Author says that he was little hesitant to share this news to his grandmother, because he was sure that after hearing this, his grandmother would become upset, as she was too much attached to him. And author thought that she would become sentimental to know this news, as he was going for 5 long years, and she was old, and 5 years was a long time. Anything could have happened in those 5 years. But when he shared this news to his grandmother, surprisingly, she did not become sentimental even when he was going, she came to leave him at the railway station. And there she did not talk or show any emotions, but her fingers, on rosary beads were constantly moving. Her lips were constantly singing prayers. Her mind was lost in prayers. So when the train arrived at the platform, she silently kissed on Arthur's forehead. And the author says that when he left, he preserved the moist imprints, thinking that it could be the last sign of physical contact between them. Now the author talks about how did his grandmother react when he came back from England after spending 5 years. So he got surprised when he saw his grandmother at the railway station who came to receive him. Fine. And he got surprised to see her that there were not much changes in her appearance in these 5 years. Fine. So as soon as she sees the saw her grandson, so she embraced him, and while she was embracing, she was still reciting the prayer. And after reaching at home, feeding the sparrows was her happiest time. And on that day, even she fed little longer to the sparrows, and in between she was rebuking mildly to those sparrows. And in the evening, what she did, she collected all the women of the neighborhood. And she did not pray on that day. She collected all the women, and she got an old drum, and she started beating and singing for several hours. She started doing this singing and beating, and she sang old songs of homecoming of the warriors. And while she was doing so all the family members discouraged her not to do so, not to overstrain herself, but she did not listen, because she was very much happy on that day, excited she was. Fine. And that was the first time in her life she forgot to pray. So, due to the overexertion, the next day, his grandmother fell ill, and the doctor was called to examine her. So, after examining her, the doctor told that she was suffering with fever, and he also told that it would go. But his grandmother, she herself declared that her end was near, and she also told that before the closing of the last chapter of her life, she had forgotten to pray. Fine. And she told that she was not going to waste any more time in talking to anybody. Fine. And then we all protested and we asked her not to talk. Then she ignored all our protest, and what she did, she lay peacefully in the bed. Fine. And what she did, she started praying and telling her beads. Fine. And during this process, suddenly her lips stopped moving, and the rosary fell from her hand. Fine. And a peaceful pallor spread on her face, and we knew that she had gone for her final abode, and that was heaven. So, children, let's discuss the concluding paragraph of the chapter, The Portrait of a Lady. Now, Khushwant Singh says that when they got assured that their grandmother is no more, so they all lifted her from the bed and laid her to the ground as a tradition, and covered her body with the red shroud. Shroud here means, a coffin, a cloth or garment in which a dead person is wrapped for burial. So after that, they all started crying, and mourning. And after some time, they left her body. They got busy to make arrangements for her last rite, or for her funeral. So in the evening, they reached to her room with a crude stretcher. Stretcher here means crude stretcher, earthy, to take her to the cremation ground. So it was the evening time, sun was setting, and her room was filled with the golden light. So there they met with a great, strange sight. They saw that all over the veranda and in her room, thousands of sparrows were seated there. So on that day, they were behaving differently. They were not chirping. Author says that they felt sorry for them. Author's mother, went to the kitchen and brought some bread, and she broke the bread into pieces and threw on the ground for them to eat. Fine, like her his grandmother used to do. But the sparrows took no notice of those bread pieces. So when they lifted the grandmother's body to take her to the cremation ground, for her last rites, all the sparrows flew quietly. So next morning, the sweeper swept the breadcrumbs into dustbin. So in this way, the sparrows also mourned the death of his grandmother. So such a divine soul Khushwant Singh's grandmother was. So children, this was the chapter, The Portrait of a Lady. Children, hope this explanation will help you to understand this chapter easily. So children, if you like my video, please like, share, subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much.